Yes, everybody, welcome back to the United View YouTube channel. We are back again with episode 62 of What the Devil. I am joined here with Nick today and also special guest Alice, and Firmz is back in the studio as well. Bumper episode for everybody. 4 people. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. We're going to be talking about, the Europa League final this evening, which... we will get now I've started speaking, I'm saying I was fine. Okay, we'll move on. Talking about Alejandro Garnacho, obviously, he had the presser yesterday. There's been a lot of talk around him, and there's Bruno Fernandes, all the Al Hilal rumours, all of this, all of that. But there is so much for, I think, to really digest and talk about in this live show. And remember, we are live, so make sure you get your comments in. Let us know what you think about how wrong we are about what you're saying. Let us know your opinions. Get the super chats. I'll read them. All of this, all that. We're going to go straight into it. And I'm going to start off with the Bruno Fernandes stuff. Because it was a few days ago, the Saudi report started saying that Bruno Fernandes was a main target for Al Hilal because they want him for the Club World Cup, which starts in mid-June. So which is they want him in the next 5-6 weeks. So they had a meeting with his lawyer and his agent. And they have put in a bid. So according to Ben Jacobs, they offered him a £65 million a year deal, which is so for 3 years has 195 million quid. And then also the report says that they were willing to offer a British record fee, fee received for Bruno. And so the current one is 115 million Caicedo to Chelsea. Obviously there's the Coutinho one as well, but I did some research into that. Coutinho's one it was 105 with another 35 in add-ons, but I don't think he ever got the add-ons because he was shit. So 150 million, so that would be what, 120 million pound bid. But United just went no. All reports they've gone absolutely not.
Get your hands off our skipper immediately. He's not going nowhere. No chance.
But it's an interesting thing because this is the I'd say 3rd summer in a row where Bruno's been linked with serious moves away. Not in terms of he's seriously considering it, but there's been clearly serious interest and serious people want this guy. And obviously I think he's one of the only players in the club that people really want, apart from Ahmad, for example. But I don't see anyone bidding for Ahmad anytime soon. I just don't see it. Yeah. But it's been a big few days, and I want to kind of hand over to you, Nick, because you messaged me yesterday saying please put this topic in just so you can have a bit of a rant about it.
You know what? I've not come here with anything informative or educational. If that's what you're here for, I'm not bringing that right now. It's just simply the fact that Bruno Fernandes is just the most up there with Ahmad for me, the most untouchable asset at the club. It's a dream. It's probably not going to happen. It's probably a bit far-fetched. I would love Bruno Fernandes to be the skipper to lead us out at the new stadium whenever it's built. I don't think it will happen. Don't think it is probably too far in the future for that to be the case. But even if Bruno Fernandes is kind of hanging around like a Tom Heaton vibe and you just make him captain for one day just so he can lead us out, I'd love that. For me, it's just a no-brainer. You don't discuss it. You don't entertain it. And the thing is as well, I don't trust our club to take that money that we'd get for Bruno and actually make it work. Because it would need to be 2-3 very good signings.
Some of the suggestions that United fans have made being if we got 120 for Bruno, we can sign X, Y, and Z. And I'm looking at all the talents, I'm just this is when Spurs sold Bale.
Yeah,
they could. Spurs sold Bale for what? It was at 85 million, 90 million. And then they bought... Soldado, Lamela, Ericsson, and it's just I'm you're just going to waste that money because also you'd have to buy about 4 players to recreate what Bruno gives you by himself.
And can we even get someone elite in? People are we could get Musiala. I'm Musiala's not going to want to come to Man United.
He's not going to want to come. And Bruno Fernandes has the work rate of 2 players.
Yeah.
He has the availability of probably near to none. He's played the most games on the planet. His availability is insane. And on top of that, his output and impact is just, his leadership and his output is crazy. You can't match it. So you're talking about a guy that's got 37 GA, soon to be probably 39 after tonight.
Jeez.
So if you're looking at people that you can probably bring in, I'm looking at the Premier League, right? Just to stick into the Premier League. So we've got Eze.
Right. He's come with the list, bro.
Eze
went
has
missing.
got 21 GA.
Beginning of the season as
He
well.
went missing. Kudus, I don't know. I've been probably talking about this offline. Kudus has got 7 GA this season. 7 GA this season. Falling off. And these are 2 of the guys that I thought, for me, they're amazing. If you bring them to Manchester United, they'll be transformative. We're looking at a combined 28. Bruno Fernandes is on 37. He's worth 2 players of your most creative. And the reason why people may say, oh, do you know, it's just a bad season. Bruno don't have that. He don't have the luxury of having a bad season. Every season, he's churning out 20 plus, 30 plus GA consistently and present consistently. There's nothing where he's like, oh, I'm missing for 6 months, 7 months of the season. He's always going to be bringing that. You've got Odegaard, 16. Mbeumo's having an amazing season, 26 GA. Saka's on 25 now after the goal that he scored yesterday. Maddison's on 23. Cole Palmer's on 25. These are all the guys, especially Cole Palmer with all of that. People lauding this guy. You've got Bruno Fernandes in the bottom barrel producing this week in, week out, and people are now saying or considering the fact that we should sell this guy. You can't replace him. Even if you've got 2 players, 3 players, it's not going to work.
I agree
he
completely.
is our world-class player. People may say he's not world-class. He's our Salah.
Say that again. Hold on. Bruno Fernandes, how much GA?
Bro,
what was it?
37.
37. Saka was what, 25?
Yeah.
Cole Palmer was what, 25? 26?
Let me get it out again.
Tell him again. Reload it.
25 GA. Odegaard's a measly 16. A measly. Cole Palmer 25. You're talking about.
Yeah. It doesn't compare.
This guy 37. And he's got more in the tank.
He's still got more.
He's playing deeper.
And we're 16th.
We're 16th. We're playing a terrible team. Do you remember? Look, Chelsea's competing for Champions League. Saka's gone all the way down to Champions League.
Injured, but still, yeah.
Injured.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, the availability of Bruno. This is why I discount all of these things, because Bruno, we could easily be saying, oh, Bruno's this, he's machine.
Yeah.
He's in there. Look, Mbeumo, the best season of his ever career in his life, he's on 26. Odegaard, people be saying he's the best, in his position in the league. Now people are like, he's not really that influential. He's getting a lot of stick. Kudus, like I said, and Eze, I really like Eze. 21. Cunha, sorry I missed out, who's coming to Manchester United.
I was about to mention
23
this.
GA. But even again, this guy has a lot of free reign, a lot of availability to move about and do his thing. Is he going to get that at Manchester United, Cunha? Can we afford to have a Bruno Fernandes all over the place, a Cunha all over the place, and then affecting the structural integrity of the
I
team?
think it'll be fine. I think
Would be.
I think
I hope so.
Because Bruno as well, you can see he's maturing a little bit. He's not quite like he was under Ole, for example, where it was just do whatever you want.
Hero ball.
He's a bit more controlled now under Amorim, I reckon.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be fine. Yeah.
I mean, at Wolves he's the main guy, and we had that discussion when we was talking about Cunha being the main man. Like he needs to be the main guy to get the goals and assists, whatever he does.
Fish, little pond.
The big fish, little pond. Is he going to have that same influence? I don't know if he's going to be like that at Manchester United. So you need to take even these GAs that I'm mentioning with a bit of salt. Do you know what I mean? Bruno's doing that regardless. Ronaldo was here, he's still doing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me keep quiet.
No.
What I was going to say on the topic of the hypotheticals, like, who can we get in to replace Bruno? I think Cunha would be like to the top of my list, and we're signing him anyway. So it's like there's like that's like the one player I would like be like, who could come in and kind of have the, I think like the kind of take his position like by the stronghold and try and let's say to some extent carry the club or just like have the weight on his shoulders and be able to do it. I would say is Cunha, and he's probably signing, touch wood as I do every week, probably signing anyway. So I'm like, well, there's
Yeah, he's got that mentality as well.
I'm just like, so why would you sell Bruno? Because like we're already signing one of the players I'd want to bring in the option that Bruno did go. We're bringing him anyway. So
Does Bruno have a press?
Huh?
Does he have a press?
Yeah, of course.
Not
200
one
million.
that anyone would be willing to
Yeah,
pay.
What's your price?
I would not one that's worth it. I would go, bro, at least 200 million.
I'm going like 180, 190,
Yeah.
200,
Yeah.
around that region.
180 million.
What he's worth to us is worth a lot more than what anyone will ever pay for him.
Yeah,
Is the way I'm going to
exactly,
put
yeah.
that.
Like-
in the same way, like as like some of like Crystal Palace's players, for example. Like I don't see people shelling out 50, 60 million for Mateta. That's what he's worth to Palace, but people aren't. No, I don't see people paying that.
It's like Brantwaite last summer.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
He's worth so much more to Everton than he is to any other club.
Can I play the advocate?
Yeah, of course you can.
180 million, 200 million. That's not 200 in real terms. That probably allows us to spend 2-3 times that amount. If that money allowed you to get a Gyökeres, a Edison, a new goalkeeper, a new centre-back, a new right-back, a new... Do you know? Because effectively what you're saying is that
You can
one
build half
sell
a
It
is
depends
going to
who
build.
we can get, because I don't trust United to go and You know, in United, they probably buy Longstaff with some money. They're like,
Do you think so?
we're just
No, I
stupid.
trust our recruitment team
I
now.
think Ineos is better, but
We've
yeah, I
got
hear it at the
different-
same
we got
time.
Like, if it
different
was
set of
John
people.
Murta, I'd have been like,
Oh, bro, yeah, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
give.
Like,
I wouldn't give him the keys.
I
to
trust them
anything.
more,
Yeah.
but I still like. I'm concerned. Like, I think this window was actually quite good in the summer.
Yeah.
Like, Euros
I agree.
impressed me, Masraoui impressed me. Like, Xerxes showed glimpse before injury.
De Ligt's
Like,
been
De Ligt's solid. And Agati, I don't think he's as bad as people make out. I think he gave us the legs which we need. He just has limitations, and if we get a progressive midfielder, it'll be fine. But it's like, how do we spend that money? If United could go out and they were like, yeah, we're going to get Cole Palmer from Chelsea, we're going to get Gyökeres, we're going to get a right wing back, we're going to get an Adam Wharton. I'm sitting here like, okay, well, if Bruno wants to go, let's say we don't get Champions League football next year, and Bruno wants to go, because I think that's the only way I could see him maybe going, is if he's too good to not be in European football next season. You maybe look at the 200 million and go, yeah. But the problem is, I honestly feel like we could have been relegated this season without Bruno. I feel like it's been that bad. And I don't think people realise he gives us everything on the pitch, everything off the pitch. Most chances created in the Premier League this season. Like, we've missed so many chances that he could have had 10 more assists this season. He's second most for ball recoveries after Caicedo this season.
What?
Yeah.
Ball recovery.
Yeah.
Second
Defensive-
to Caicedo.
It's ridiculous.
Defensive work.
Sink in. Oh my god.
He's
yeah.
2 players in one.
He's on
Wow,
top
he
10
is.
lists for both attacking and defensive output.
So losing him, where especially like if we came second this year, you could almost lose Bruno and replace him because you know the rest of the team was good enough. But because we know the rest of the team is not good enough, we lack leaders. We've got young players. Like, I rate Garnacho, I rate Maino, I rate Yoro, but they're so incredibly young. They still need leadership in there. 100%. I think you need Bruno for another season. Until we're in a place where we look a bit stable, we're back in that top 4, where we don't look like we're going to be mid-table again, we need Bruno, that's the thing.
Yeah, I think with the point you made about trust, I think the whole thing with me and Bruno and trust is not necessarily that I don't trust United to go and sign or like reinvest the money well in, because I say this every week, I really like the guys we now have on top. We've got Jason Wilcox, Christopher Vivel, Omar Barada. I really like these guys. I think the 7 signings we've made, I think 6 of them have been great signings. Ugarte is the only one who I'm like not 100% sure, but even then, personally, I quite like Ugarte because I like the kind of person he is on the pitch.
And you're not
Just
going to
the
get
whole
100% record out of transfers anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But like you've got Heaven, Dorgu, Yoro, De Ligt, Masraoui, Xerxes, all of them. I'm like, they're good signings. So I would trust the club to reinvest the money well, but I can't think of many players on the planet that I would trust more than Bruno Fernandes on the pitch.
Cyril.
Literally.
There's no one out there. Right? There's no
I'm
one
literally about play like forgetting.
No one that we could get.
Forgetting age or any limitation or any like anything. Like,
He's like,
who would I
You know what?
trust,
I
man?
genuinely believe.
I would trust
He's
someone.
Salah.
I would
He's
trust someone
Salah.
like Salah, Rice, Harry
Rodri.
Kane.
Yeah.
These kind of players, like Valverde, for example, like those kind of players
unattainable.
that I would trust to just be amazing. But we can't sign any of them.
I truly believe that Bruno will have a Ballon d'Or if he was at a team like Barcelona, Real
Probably.
Madrid, whatever.
Oh my days, Bruno Fernandes under Hansi Flick at Barcelona
would be
with
In that
Yamal
tech-
and Rafinha running in
Crazy.
behind.
And Lewandowski up top.
It's shut down. It's
He would
absolutely
have
shut
a
down.
Ballon d'Or. I fully believe
To be
that.
fair,
His
yeah,
numbers would be
his
insane.
numbers. I just thought his numbers would be ridiculous.
It'll be
He'd get
insane.
like 60 goal involvements or something ridiculous like that.
Another devil's advocate though, right? So Bruno Fernandes right now at United, obviously been here for like 5 years now. Club legend. Will probably, if he stays until he retires, he'll be an absolute solidified club legend, right? But right now he's on roughly about 300k a week, right? With tax and national insurance and whatnot, that's probably about 200k a week. Going from 200k a week to $1 million a week.
1.25 mil.
1.25
Gotta be
mil.
specific.
1.25 mil a week.
I did the maths, bro.
No tax, no national insurance.
I think
That's
someone
not
worked
just
it out.
that is
was it?
your
The second.
children's wealth. That is your name is.
You can pay for our transfers.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean?
if he sends us some of the money,
Then we can.
then I'd be all right with it. If he he goes and then we can, that means we can pay off Osimhen's wages by bringing in Bruno. So let me know. But I just think
It'll break my heart though as well.
Oh, yeah, no, I
beyond
would be-
finances and club and I would be distraught. I
Yeah.
actually love Bruno. He might be the one man I love the most in the world right
no,
now.
I was
Quite.
sad when like the whole kind of Rashford thing deteriorated because I really like Rashford, but this would still be on a completely different level because the Rashford thing I can understand. If Bruno left now, wouldn't be able to understand it. I would get it, you know, if he's like he wants to earn
it feels like when Ronaldo left in 2009, it would have been like
it's just like it would be just be suddenly like why. But also as well, when Ronaldo left 2009, you know, that was off the back of United being amazing. I'd say at the moment, Bruno is what's holding us together when we're on the cusp of potentially
sinking.
I'd say the opposite. I'd say like United now are trying to build up to be amazing again, right? And that's what I like about United. That's what I like about Amorim. That's what I like about the guys up top is that like they're building towards becoming successful again. And I think Bruno is the linchpin of that at the moment because he's our best player. If he then goes, I'm like, well, how the hell are we meant to be successful?
Yeah,
I've looked at a team without Bruno and it's scary.
It stinks,
and that's
bro.
my thing. It's
reeks.
Scary. And for me, I'd rather have players in where I can see that we're functioning with him there than getting rid of him and having no plan B. And I know that someone always steps up. Like we've got rid of the Beckhams, we've got rid of Ronaldo's, and someone does come into, you know, action. And it might be it might be one of these players, but they just ain't Bruno. Like Bruno is someone that creates something out of nothing. He's someone that can take a half chance and get a goal out of it. He's someone that can take a free kick from 35 yards and score. He's someone that can do everything. And I think like with I don't know. I think like Manchester United fans that's considering this deal don't quite understand how good he is. Like I remember when he first came, right, and the little things he was doing. His ability to scan the pitch and know where everyone is 5 seconds in advance, and always get that ball spin and find his player. The small touches that he does, the small layuffs, the small flicks, the ability to just ping a ball 20 yards. Not many players can do that. And I think we've become accustomed to like familiarity. We've got used to it. And for some reason, for us now, we just focus more on the negative things that he does of giving away the ball than understanding that nobody on this pitch can do what Bruno does.
He's supposed to give away the ball. He is a creative midfielder. You're not going to have 100% like passing output when you're a creative midfielder. Yeah. Do you not remember the away game against West Ham under Ole when we were like looking really good and West Ham were looking poor and Ole thought, right, I'll rest Bruno. So we started Van der Beek and Pogba in the midfield and it looked alright, but then we went 1-0 down. Yeah. Brings on Bruno and 3-1. Yeah, it's just his influence.
I think he created the most chances in 45 minutes.
He created 8. I remember he created 8 chances.
How the hell do you remember that?
Because I remember the stat. He was like the most chances created in a single game that season, and it was Bruno in 45 minutes.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Do you know what's mad is like there was all this talk of I take Odegaard over Bruno any day of the week, you know, and it's like Odegaard gives the ball away less. He's a bit safer, you know, he does this and that. But it's like, look at the Champions League, you know, look at Odegaard over the 2 legs, nothing. Arsenal needed someone that could produce something out of nothing yesterday. They were playing a bit too safe. They did create chances. I think had they had a striker, maybe they could have won the game. But Bruno's the kind of guy, and I think Champions League knockout football, and I think this is why we sometimes win trophies, is about moments. You know, Bellingham could win a game in a moment. Vinicius could win a game in a moment. PSG, with the quality they have, Arsenal could be the better side, but they could win a game in a moment. And Bruno Fernandes is one of those where we could be crap, and Rashford, when he's in form, can do it as well, but he can win a game in a moment. Whereas, you know, players like Odegaard, who everyone raved about last year, he doesn't have that ability in a moment. Only Saka at Arsenal to do it.
He's never done it. Think about like when we went to Goodison, we were 2-0 down, and then Bruno scored that free kick. Like. And that, as you say, that is the exact. Like, that's what a moment is. He had that one moment to score, and he did it.
And we're crap, and we don't look like getting in the game. Bruno produces a magical pass, a magical finish. It's 2-1, and then the United side lifts. You know, even like you could go to Lyon, the penalty when we were 4-2 down. The pressure to put that penalty in. That's, you know, I know it's a penalty, but to put that penalty in the highest pressure moments, that then triggered us to move as well.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that as well? When I was watching the PSG game yesterday, and I love Vitinha. I think he's a fantastic player, brilliant player. But he stepped up for the pen, and he tried to do I'm gonna wait for the keeper to move, and he did it. And I was like, bro, you're not Bruno, bro. You're not Bruno.
I thought that exact same thing. I was looking at that guy because also as well with Bruno, I can't remember who said it. It might have been Kane in our chat yesterday was saying that what Bruno also has in those moments is he can switch it up if he likes. Sometimes on the pens, he decides to just leather it. No one know. Like the goalkeepers don't know how hard Bruno's going to hit it, where he's going to hit it. This is what I think. Like Bruno needs more credit for how ridiculous he is at penalties. I can only think of one that he's missed.
Martinez.
The one where he skied it when Bruno.
Martinez,
but he also missed one away to Newcastle. I think we ended up winning 4-1 anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, was that when Wan-Bissaka?
Yeah, I think it was that game.
I think he's missed about 2 out of 40 or 50.
It's something like that, but like it's just like I felt so in the Sevilla, the game last week. The Athletic game last midweek. Like I had no doubt that Bruno was scoring that penalty.
Yeah.
That was also that was a big moment as well, because if let's say they'd gone down to 10 men, but we then missed the pen. That swings that tie completely. But Bruno steps up, scores it, and then just he does a little calm celebration, then goes and scores again, for extra time.
Quick question, and maybe I wouldn't put him first, but who's been the best Premier League midfielder this season? I'd say Declan Rice is there and about. So I think he's been very good, even when Arsenal are bad. Across any midfield player.
For me, it's between McAllister and Bruno.
McAllister, you reckon?
I think he's been better than
McAllister and Gravenberch have been
Casado's
unreal
up
for
there.
Liverpool.
Tonali's up there as well.
I love Tonali.
Tonali's been.
Tonali would be my number one deep lying midfielder signing. If we can't get him.
He's taken Newcastle from I think 6th or 7th last year to winning the Carabao to pushing third.
For top 4,
Because they didn't sign anyone really.
He's an unreal player. Unreal player.
I think I would have to give it to McAllister because Liverpool have won the league.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, achievement is part of the conversation. But I'd go McAllister and then Bruno, purely because McAllister's won the league.
Yeah, but the fact that he's even in that conversation.
Yeah.
And again, 16th.
Yeah, well, I think he's had Bruno for the most part has had 6 straight elite seasons.
Yeah.
There's no doubt, like you said before, the whole club legend thing, and there's no doubt.
It's like Salah.
It's elite,
Salah.
It's just straight elite.
Normal.
It's ridiculous.
And I think with Salah, at a point it was just about he just gets goals. He doesn't really impact the game. He doesn't influence it. That was some of the talk around the fan base as well. And I used to think, oh yeah, that's true. But then I've gotten over that. The reason why Liverpool's given Salah his new contract and giving him that much money and breaking that sort of wage structure is because they know the value that they have in Salah. Albeit, how does Salah now? 32. Look,
he's 50 goal contributions a season.
He's not slowing down.
You can't do anything.
I think as soon as footballers turn 30, everyone seems to go, oh, they're washed now.
Bruno's going to play for...
Thiago Silva was...
Yeah.
Bruno's got easy another 5 years.
Yeah. His legs are just...
Easy.
Like these players that look after themselves, also players are lasting longer now anyway.
Yeah.
You got Modric at 37. Yeah. He's only just leaving Real Madrid now, but he was starting a lot of the games.
Ronaldo scored 20 goals for us at 37.
Yeah.
20 goals for us. We don't create anything.
Exactly.
Players last ages. Let's say on the assumption Bruno just stays for a number of years, he's going to sign another 3-year deal in a couple of years' time.
I'd love him to at 38 still be knocking about.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
I can see him playing at 38.
I can see him just slowly moving into that Johnny Evans role over the next
you said Modric, and his frame, his stature, his mentality like that in terms of looking after himself reminds me of someone like a Modric.
Yeah.
Someone like a Ronaldo that looks after themselves. I can't imagine him going out for a kebab. You know what I mean?
But you know what it is about Bruno, weirdly enough? Like, I think he's obviously a professional. I think he's thorough, but I don't think he's crazy about my fat percentage needs to be this or my muscle.
It's genetics.
I think
it's got to be genetics,
football and that's it. He just plays.
The fact he doesn't get injured, he's got some crazy.
And what I think Amarim said, he was asked about when you're talking about Bruno and start needs to be rested a couple games when we were hitting the Lyon game and stuff, and I think Amarim said in a press conference he was like, when I say to Bruno, do you want to be rested? And Bruno just goes, no, I'm fine. And the metrics and all the data that they get from the medical department just say that he is just fine. He will play 120 minutes, then 90 minutes, then 90 minutes, 120 minutes in the space of 10 days. And he'll just be okay. Yeah. It just happens. He's not necessarily.
Dallow's got a bit of that as well.
Yeah, I think
more thorough.
Dallow's obsessive. You got players like Anthony Elanga, for example, who he's famous for just spending 3-4 hours on recovery after every game, make sure he's fit. I think Bruno just stretches, gets in an ice bath, and he's grand.
Yeah,
it's got to be genetics. Yeah. But one player I want to move on to, just on talking about players who are playing a lot, is another one is Garnacho. So he started his 13th game in a row. During the game against Brentford, I think he played 90 minutes, didn't he? Yeah, he played the full 90 minutes, and it was his 15th start in 16 games. And he's had some
under a new manager as well.
I think Garnacho's a weird one, right? Because there have been points where the criticisms of him are very, very valid. Where like games, for example, what was the game? Oh, like first game was like Forest away or something. I think it was Forest away where he created like 5 chances, but he kept shooting, and it was infuriating.
Yeah.
Like at that point, I'm like, I think criticism well deserved. But the Brentford game, that was a game that looked like it was played, but I don't know if this makes sense, but by a man, not a kid.
Mature,
Yeah.
That was a really mature, solid team, like individual within a team performance. He got an assist. Very good assist, and scored a stunning goal. Yeah. And I'm starting to feel like Garnacho is starting to become a bit underappreciated by our fans, because this guy's just hit 10 and 10 for this. He's got 10 and 11 now for the season. Only like 6 players in the last decade have done that for us. Bruno's done it 5 times, like at least 10 goals and 10 assists. Mata's done it. Ibrahimovic did it. Paul Pogba's done it, and Marcus Rashford's done it, and then now Garnacho's done it as well.
That's crazy.
I think Yamal was like the only player younger than him with like more GA this season.
Unreal.
Garnacho, I would admit, Garnacho should be on about 30.
Yeah,
he's missed so many, like running through on goal and missing stuff and everything, but 21 goals and assists in this horrible season. As it's weird to think he's still 20. I feel like he's been 20 for about 3 years now. But he's still 20. He's only a bit younger than Mane. He's younger than Dorgu, for example. Like he's a year younger than Collier and stuff. Like he is still a very young player. And on the topic of what I was saying before about players who are hitting their peaks at 25, 26, 27, 28, like there's so much room for him to become better.
Yeah.
I just want to put it out there that I really think that Garnacho has become underappreciated.
Yeah, I completely agree. I've always said with Garnacho, you've got to be patient. It's because you can see, like, Garnacho is so threatening. Even when he's crap, he will get in a position and we'll just be annoyed that he's missed the chance. But he'll make the runs, he'll get in the position. Like, we're annoyed with Højlund because he can't get in those positions, but we know that Højlund can finish. It's like if only Garnacho had Højlund's finishing in those positions, like he could have like 30 goals this season with some of the chances he's had. But I've always said with Garnacho, you can't expect someone to be complete at 20. In the past, under Sir Alex Ferguson, he'd be coming off the bench, he'd be moulded in, he'd have some competition. And if he did make a big chance, it was fine because we knew that the other players would put those chances away. Because we have nobody to produce, we're so reliant on this 20-year-old to produce from us. And I think because Lamine Yamal is this crazy exception, there's this feeling of, oh, he's at 20, he must produce. But you look at a lot of the top players, and at 20, I don't think they were much better than Garnacho. And I've always said with Garnacho, he needs to improve his ball striking, and that does improve with age. And I think physically, if he could get a bit more power on him, and just because he can get pushed off sometimes, and decision making, they're the 3 attributes he needs to improve. Like, even like players like Ahmad, I think, the last year and a half, he holds off players quite well. And that was something
2 years older as well.
Yeah, people criticised him for at Rangers 2-3 years ago. So I always think these things that Garnacho needs to improve is very normal at his age. And I think to be taking on players, I think he actually works really hard. I think his work rate doesn't get enough credit for. He's very determined, but like there's sometimes a game where we're doing nothing and he's got that pace and he's got that directness. He's not one of those people that's going to get the ball, pass it backwards, sideways. Sancho, I always thought was going to be an amazing signing when we got him, but he used to frustrate me because he'd get the ball when he'd pass sideways, backwards. He wasn't going to take on his man or wasn't going to run at them. Whereas Garnacho will get the ball and he just wants to run at people. And as I said off camera, like I compared him to Nico Williams at the beginning of the season. I said, Garnacho is Nico Williams with worse PR. Because when you take a bigger look at Nico Williams and you watch a couple more of his games, he can be fantastic, electric, brilliant. The same that we see Garnacho on his day. But then he can have off days where his shooting's wrong, his passing's wrong, his decisions is wrong. But because Garnacho's at Man United, he doesn't have what Dibbling has or Williams has, where people hype up Williams and people hype up Dibbling to be on the wing because they have these good games. But when they have those bad games, nothing is said. But because he's at United, when he has a bad game, it's like everybody's on it. Everybody's on it.
True.
Yeah, I totally agree. You were just speaking for me. Everything. It's like you were in my group chats and like this is it. This is what I think with Garnacho. He's under the spotlight. He plays for the biggest Premier League team in the world, Manchester United. Yes, we're still the biggest Premier League team in the world. Everything he does is being under the microscope, is criticised. If he took the chances, like you said, he could have 30 goals. We won't even be having a conversation. We may not even be in a position to even still keep Garnacho. Do you know what I mean? We may be having discussions about Real Madrid taking him off our hands and us being like, oh no, we're helpless. this is a guy that's in the right place at the right time with his development. He's at the stage that he needs to be in. And when you compare him against, like if you compare him against Nico Williams and you look at the output that Nico Williams is doing, Garnacho's right up there with these numbers. Right up there.
It's better, yeah.
It's even better,
he's
right?
higher.
Nico's not going up against Udogis every other day. Every defender in the Premier League, or most of them, they've got the strength, they've got the pace. You're going up against them, you're brushing side to side with them, you're flying out of the pitch. Like, Garnacho's having to do this week in, week out.
In the hardest league.
In the hard, tough league. Look at
I was just
Anthony.
about to say, bro, look how amazing Anthony suddenly is.
And now people are like putting it down to, they always put it down to the team, club, Manchester United making them bad. They don't understand that you can have a player where the Premier League just might not suit them. You've got Sancho, who's luckily moved from Manchester United to Chelsea, and people can see that. You know, he's still not picking up pace there. Like, it's not just about Manchester United not getting the better out of these players. There could be a thing about you're just not suited to the Premier League, you're just not adjusted. I look at Nico Williams, I would love to see him go to a Villa or whatever it is and see what numbers he's churning out year on year. For me, these players get the luxury of going to big teams when they make the move. Like Nico Williams, he's probably going to go, like if he was to come to the Premier League, it will be one of the top teams where they've got most of the ball, they're creating most of the chances, and they're hardly under that much pressure. Garnacho's playing in the dirt. He's playing in the dirt and he's producing that. We've relied on this guy for about 2.5 years or 3 years or whatever it
he
is.
played
we've
38 games in a row last year, at the end of last season.
Final winner.
We don't even have the luxury of looking at Wanyeri and saying what he's great at and what he's not, because he's not being brought into Arsenal to be relied on. Yeah. We're having to now look at this guy, like Dibbling as well. Like, what has he done? He's played, what, 20, 30 plus games?
100 mil.
How much?
100 mil.
How many goals has he scored? How many
100
assists has he got? People's like, oh, Tyler Dibbling. And when you associate one skill characteristic with a guy, that worries me. It's already a red flag. It's already a red flag. It's almost like with the Onana thing. Everyone's like, oh, he had a great Europa Champions League game and nothing else. Oh, yeah, he can pass. But everyone was basing their knowledge off that game. And I thought, have we all watched him? Have you deeped him properly? And now we're in a position that we're in. And I'm just like, look, Garnacho to the world and back. I think it'll be, I don't know. I was leaning towards selling him if we can get the right money and bring in a replacement. But now I'm like,
I think Garnacho is definitely at risk of being sold because out of the players who, let's see if I can phrase this right, out of the players who I don't necessarily want to see sold, he's the one with the most obvious price tag, if that makes sense. Like, if a bid comes in around 70 million for Garnacho,
pure profit.
I'm kind of like, if the club accept that, I'm just like, and the club accept that, I'm just like, fair. I don't think he'll go to a Premier League team. I don't think we'll sell to Chelsea, or if we do, we'll slap some nuts premium on that.
yeah.
I think but I think United would want to sell him out of England.
Do you think United will look to sell him, let's say, if we don't get Champions League football and we're struggling to get...
No, I just think it'll be one of those things of United will sit there and they'll say, we're not going to say no to approaches, to talks, but we're not going to give anyone an easy ride on it. If that makes sense. Like, for example, players like Bruno, someone like Mainu, Yoro, Ahmad, I see the club standing there and just going, absolutely not. You're not coming anywhere near any of these boys. With Garnacho, I don't know why. It just feels a little more like the club will be like,
January as well.
We'll wait to see what people come up with. Oh, yeah, I think that's the January stuff helps. Like, because I always think he would be the most likely to want to leave out of that group of people. But I would obviously, in an ideal world, I would like to keep him because I really want to see. I'm also just really interested to see what kind of player he ends up becoming. Because he's got a lot to him that, like, he's still rough, he's still raw. I know he's played like 100 games for United now, 110 games or something like that for United, which is a crazy amount of games to play as a 20-year-old. But
still so young.
I really want to see what kind of player he becomes in the future, and I would want to see that happen at United because then we can benefit from it.
Why ain't he making the headlines? Like, after that goal, Brentford won.
Because we lost.
Because we lost, bro. Because we lost and no one gives a crap about that
no one cares about Premier League right now. That's what it is.
Southampton's relegate, like,
that goal might potentially win goal of the month.
Yeah, but also, we have to face the facts that, Man United, not loved in the mainstream media. We're just not. Like we don't get boasted about when we do well, and when we don't do well, we hear about it. We hear about it a lot. My stance on Garnacho has always been kind of the same. Even when Amorim came in and we were all worried about, will Garnacho fit in the 10? And maybe there's an argument that he's never going to be the perfect number 10. But there's always something about a player that is going to pick up the ball, and no matter what, he will try to take a man on. Right now at the club, Garnacho does that, Ahmad does that. That might be about it. Yeah. You might get Dallo or Dorgu who might try and run around the outside, but it's not really taking a man on. No. I don't care if we have 2 inside 10s. We need players who can take a man on and beat them. And Garnacho is one of very few players that can do that. And Alice, you said this before the show as well, the fact that Man United were happy to have Garnacho in the press conference, but I think what you also said was that he wanted to be in it himself.
Apparently he actually asked to be in there.
Yeah, so that speaks about his personality, his character, his maturity, but also the fact that Amorim was happy to have him beside him. I also think Amorim's warming to Garnacho, and I actually think Amorim wants to probably keep him now. And I think if we get the Champions League money next season, there is simply no reason to sell him. So I think he becomes one of those untouchables.
I think if we don't get Champions League, don't win the Europa League, so just to say what you asked me earlier, I think it would be more likely that we'd be happy to sell him. Like maybe the price becomes 65 instead of 70. But I don't see the club entertaining anything that isn't like an absolute blow out the water offer, which I see around 70 million.
Yeah.
And his wages are so not even a problem right now. Yeah. And that's the thing, he's on peanuts.
I think it's like 40k a week, which
is it actually?
It's so
nothing.
low.
Is it actually?
Well, because he signed his new deal in 2023. Yeah, 2023. Yeah. That was after his breakout season.
He'll get a bumper one soon, though.
He'll probably, if he stays and has a good season next season,
maybe.
I think a lot of our contracts are that at the moment. Dorgu's on that kind of deal. I think Heaven's on that deal. All the young players are on that kind of deal. But so just reading through some of the comments, most people agree, and people are talking about how that also Garnacho is also still one of our he's one of our best attackers. Because he is. So so selling him would be
he makes the most
to have
the
on, let's say Cunha comes in, that's finalised. To have Cunha and Rashford in one of those left forward positions, this is a side thing. I've decided that I'm going to stop referring to those 2 places behind the attacker as number 10s. It annoys me. I've just started calling them right and left forward positions.
Yeah.
Which they kind
because I think they actually
it's more forward than a 10.
This is what I mean.
It's not quite a wing.
Because I also think that those positions have changed a bit since Amorim first joined. I feel like they are becoming a bit more flexible as a general forward position than just as a midfield
Amrim's
position.
becoming more flexible.
All of our chances lands to go.
I think it simply depends on who plays there. Yeah. If it's Bruno or Eriksson, they will play very narrow and drop in. If it's Garnacho, he will stay out wide. It's very much dependent on who plays.
I count it as more of a forward position now than like a kind of where if you're talking about on the pitch horizontal levels, you got the 6 kind of plays here, the 8s here, the 10s here. I don't see it as deeper as the deep, so to speak, as the 10 compared to the striker.
Yeah. I agree.
Because I think that suits the profiles that we play in those positions. Because I don't see Bruno's long-term place being in one of those positions either. I want to see him
deeper.
I've done a complete 180 on this. I remember when we played against Arsenal at the Emirates and lost 2-0, and Bruno played in one of the 2 deeper players, I was sat here on the podcast the next day just being like, why is he there? He's crap there. I hate it. Get him further forwards. Now I've completely changed my mind. I think he's so good as one of those 2 because he's learned and Amorim's learned. Amorim's learned how to compensate for the fact that
dictate now.
Yeah, he's learned how to use Casemiro, by being tighter. Bruno also benefits from that being tighter and just allowed a bit more of a free role. I think Bruno is just stunning in those, and I think that's where he should be in the future.
Yeah.
And it's funny because on any given day you can throw him in either one of the 2 positions and he'll be fine. Yeah, and we know he'll be fine because he's just Bruno.
But I just think overall with Garnacho, I think we're all saying the same sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's kind of maybe he could be sold. I mean, he's the most at risk of being sold out of the high level people who aren't definitely being sold, but it's better for the club to keep him, and him going would be a sad thing to see.
Has he come out though? Has he said, I want to stay?
Yeah, so he said I have a contract till 2028.
He gave the most footballer answer ever. He said, I've got a contract till 2028 and I like it here, is what he said. Basically. Which I think you can basically take as he's not there going, ooh, you know what would be nice would be a move away. Blah, blah. I feel like the only way he gets tempted with a move away is if he gets offered some bumper contract.
Fall out with Amorim or something.
Or falls out with Amorim, or like someone at Napoli, for example, are like, right, we've just won the league, and we want you to be our next starting winger, or something like that.
Did Bruno say that?
What do you mean?
I think
Has he come out and given?
Bruno said last summer. Bruno said when he signed the new deal, he said, "I want to stay here as long as I see that the project is moving forward."
Yeah.
Which I think is the only stance Bruno can take.
And he hasn't spoken since the recent links either.
Adding
he
to that, David Ornstein's been like, Bruno wants to stay. Like Saudi right now isn't a threat. Laurie Whitwell said today that Garnacho's happy at United. He wants a new contract. So I think like we're safe in that sense.
Yeah.
You know what?
I don't see any of these players wanting to leave.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, if you're Garnacho right now and you're at Man United, do you really... I understand you go Napoli, you can win the Scudetto or whatever. Like, it's not. Of course it's nice. And you're in Italy. Yeah, fair. But I just don't see that as a more attractive club,
especially
right?
now.
I don't know.
Like, because he can decide. You can be like, okay, Garnacho, you can leave in 5 years when he'll be 25 and he's still got 8 years left in his career. Like, kind of like at worst, you do like what Ronaldo did. Like leave at 24, 25. Leaving now.
If you're gonna leave, yeah.
Like he knows he's got a place here. He knows that he's playing well. Amorim likes him. I think overall the fans like him. Yeah, there is no reason to leave because he's got so much time on his side. And he could be part of the team. This is why I think potentially coming to United this summer could be an attractive thing, is he can be part of the team that finally gets United back. I think this is one of the reasons why Cunha wants to join United.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
It's like, it's such if the right type of player, that's a really, really attractive thing to draw you to a club. Is imagine being in that team that brought the Premier League back to Old Trafford. You'd be immortalised. You genuinely, that whole team will be completely immortalised at Old Trafford.
That's an all-timer, because I feel like to perform at Man United is just like, I feel like we're the hardest club in the world to like perform at, because you've got the pressure, you've got the environment. There's a curse. It's like if you come to like Man United and you perform and you lift them to a league title, that is 10 times better than going to City and lifting them to a league title.
Yeah, like Bruno Fernandes, he wins a Premier League title, he's going down as one of the best midfielders in the league ever.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I think on ability he already is. He's up. He's
well,
right up in the
If we won the league,
he'd
you'd be in Ballon d'Or conversations.
Yeah, it's because the status of being a good player at United is so much higher than you say as like a good player at City.
Mate,
just is.
Imagine he wins the World Cup next year and we somehow jam our way to Champions League. Like, imagine, yeah. So FA Cup to get into Europa League. Yeah. We win the Europa League to get into the Champions League. And then we win the Champions League. And then we finish like 9th and somehow win the Champions League. And he gets the Ballon d'Or and the World Cup. That'd be absolutely amazing.
I'll be.
It's just funny, isn't it?
Yeah. But we've got to get past that.
That Amorim low block in the Champions League. Yeah. He plays that low block in the Champions League.
I don't know.
No, okay. So we'll move on now to talking about this evening. So you mentioned, if we can win the Europa League to get back in the Champions League. Yeah. So sitting here 7 days ago, I was sat here just going, I have no idea what to think, what to say, or what to do with myself, because I had no idea what was going to happen. And what I didn't expect, genuinely I think what I least expected from the game last Thursday was exactly what happened. I was sat there at half-time going, what the hell?
Yeah, what's happening?
Like, sick, amazing, awesome, but also, what the hell did I just watch? Yeah. How are we 3-0 up? How is there a red card and a penalty and Ugarte doing back flick assists and you've got Onana keeping a clean sheet, obviously Bruno Fernandes scoring a lovely penalty, and I think his goal, by the way, was
the second one was so nice,
good, bro.
Yeah.
It was
the
like
run and the finish, really nice.
Harry Yamal as well.
It was an unnecessary finish, I think, the second goal.
What do you mean?
Because it was just the way he hit it was just like so overly, obviously it's Bruno, just overconfident.
He's just like, I'm too good for this competition.
It was just,
and he is.
Proper strikers finish that. But like, it was I was sat full time just kind of thinking, cannot believe I've done that.
Yeah.
The nerves that I had before that game.
Yeah.
The way it got settled. You said, everything went our way that day.
I just don't know we didn't get more in the second half.
Yeah.
I know.
I wanted the fourth.
When it was 3-0 at half time, it was like, mate,
Look at Joe Blackman's here.
What did he say?
What's good? Oh, I see how it is, only one allowed. Hey, nice to see you again, Joe.
I like Joe.
Yeah, but all the comments, by the way, get in the comments what we're talking about. Let us know what you think. Are we right, wrong? Bruno Garnacho, talking about the game, score predictions. Let us know what you're going to think is going to happen in this Bilbao game as we're talking about it. But yeah, sorry, keep going. That just really made me laugh.
No, that caught me off guard. I wasn't even speaking before it happened. But no, yeah, I mean, I think we'll be fine. You know, one thing I'm so excited about this as well, and this is just me as a football fan, right? I get really excited about these kind of stuff. It's stupid, right? But the fact that we've got another Tifo, I'm buzzing. I'm ready to go. Like,
I want to see what that looks like.
I heard someone
this is
say,
not like Arsenal's.
Yeah, I know. That's where they lost the PSG game. That Tifo is where they lost. Yeah.
That was to be fair. That was a massive letdown.
I saw someone say on Twitter, I think, because you know how they had the Welcome to Hell. I think I saw someone on Twitter say it should be a Tifo that says "Don't invite the devils to hell" or something like that.
Yeah,
like that was so cold.
I like goading them. Goading them would be really, really cool, but I also don't know if we should do that because they're the ones that are going to be on the ball and wanting to score. Yeah. I don't
know. I think.
Why not? We're 3-0 up.
No. But I think we'll hold the ball. I don't think it's like. I don't think Amram will go into this game thinking, let's sit back and defend the.
No. But what I mean is like they are going to come to Old Trafford. They're going to come going, right, guys, we need 4. They know this from minute 1. They need 4. So Amram will try.
First goal's going to be very important.
You're right. I think Amram's thought process will be they can't score if they don't have the ball. But they're gonna they first 20 minutes when we kept giving the ball away. Like Nico Williams missed a really good chance. Lindelof had to clear it off the line. There was, I think, a couple other chances. Like Anand had to make a couple saves. Did they hit the post or something? No, I don't know. But either way, this is when they had chances, and that was when they were probably being a little tentative because it's the first few minutes of 180 minutes of football. They're now going, we have nothing to lose. We've got 11 men. I really think they're just going to press the shit out of us.
But do you feel like... that's a good point, right? Because I thought...
But then what I was going to say is then goading them with a Tifo that mocks them probably isn't the best idea.
Do it! Mock up! Do it!
Because we're so unreliable.
I know.
If they score early, that's when I'll be nervous. We've just got to get the first
Real
half an hour.
Sociedad scored early.
Do you think that we can take them for granted, though? Do you think we're going to take our foot off the gas? Because obviously you're looking at the reports. Their trio is out, right?
Yeah.
They're
the Williams brothers.
Top 3 goal scorers.
Oyhan, whatever. And it's like...
And Vivian's out because he's got a red card as well.
Does that make us relax a bit too much?
No. I think Amram will have done everything in his power to make sure that these guys know exactly what they're about to walk into.
The fact that Amram said, right, we're 3-0 up, I'm going to rest basically everyone who I could rest to make sure we're ready for this game is a message in itself to say, we're not, like, this is not
we're going full strength.
They got nothing to lose. They're going to come at us.
This is what I mean.
And when you come at us and when you press us, we make mistakes. And that's what
we're but also equally come at us and give us space in behind and we can hurt you.
Bruno ball,
This is exactly what I was about to bring up, is because we think, I'd be so surprised that doesn't happen, right? I think they're going to be playing high line, squeeze the hell out of us, target Ugarte, target like Harry Maguire on the ball, because obviously he's not, let's say, the quickest, all of that. I was going to ask, how do you want us to set up? Because what I want to see is, because there's the option of playing potentially Ahmad at wing back or something, but I want to see Mazwari at wing back. Yeah. I want that to be a back 5. I want Dorgu back, I want Mazwari back, I want Bruno deeper next to Casemiro, and I want the front 3 of Ahmad, because I want Ahmad to start, Ahmad, Højlund and Garnacho, and just not lump it to them, but get them running. Yeah. I think there are 3 quickest players, right? I want to see Amorim go into, like, if they are pressing us high and wanting to do that, I want to see us respond with more counter football.
I hear that.
And quick football.
No, I hear that, but also I don't want it to be a flat back 5. I don't want us to just try soak up the pressure because we fold on the pressure. I would rather us try and keep the ball a bit more. And I feel like if you've got Casemiro and Bruno in midfield, they can pass the ball. If you've got I don't know, Yoro, Mazraoui, ball-playing defenders, you can get on. I would rather see us try to contain them.
I'd quite like to see Maino, because I think if we're going to get pressed, Maino's tight spaces.
Deeper or
I don't know, because I feel like I prefer more in the front 3, but I actually think potentially maybe deeper. But because I think the way Agate got pressed, do we go Maino, Casemiro, which we know together in a 2 hasn't worked great. But I do think if they're going to press us and Agate was pushed, I don't think
Ugarte is going to start.
Do you not?
Because Amorim said in his presser, I think it was in his presser, he went, I only rewatched the first half an hour, and Ugarte was crap in the first half an hour. Like in the way, like so he said after the red card, Amorim said I've not rewatched it
because 10v11.
He said 10v11. There's no point in trying to analyse that. But he said, I've rewatched the first 30 minutes and I've seen the mistakes and, we're going to mistakes. I think Ugarte playing in that first 30 minutes was one of United's bigger mistakes. He was good when he went further forwards, but he's not going to be playing further forward. So I don't think Ugarte is going to start. I'd be surprised and a bit disappointed if he did start.
Would you?
Yeah, because I feel like it's not the game for him to start. Casemiro didn't play against Brentford, and I said I want to see Bruno deeper. I wouldn't mind, just on the subject of Mainu, seeing Mazraoui start at right centre-back and then Ahmad at wing-back if Mainu was in the right 10 spot. Because we haven't seen those two really play together yet, have we?
When they do it, they link up really well.
That's what I'm saying. So because I think Mainu's best position in that front three is on the right of the...
when he's with Ahmad.
Of that, because if we then have left-footed Ahmad at right wing-back, who's able to come inside, and then Mainu, who is right-footed, also on the right, we then have both feet available on that right-hand side. The two of them are also very good in tight spaces. I think they complement each other well. That is another thing I wouldn't mind seeing.
I do love Kobe in the left hand as well, though.
Yeah.
Just the cut in and cut against Wolves, Liverpool, Lyon. The fact
I agree.
The fact that he's not been around for that long, and he's been injured while he has been around, and still scored 3 of the most outrageous curlers, and big goals. All 3 of them. Wolves was massive.
Even
Liverpool
FA
was
Cup
massive.
final.
Bro, do you know what I mean? Like, he scored so many big goals.
Big game player.
I do agree.
The combination play on the right.
I really want to see the two of them.
He's sort of so composed after a big goal like that. He's sort of just
Oh, well,
I love him.
The Lyon one, to be fair, he went a bit nuts.
I think that's the Xerxes celebration.
I don't.
No, I really like. I agree. I like Kobe no matter where he plays, right?
Exactly.
But I think I really want to see how he works with Ahmad, because I think there was what game was it? There was a game we played where Ahmad scored a goal that was disallowed for offside.
Fulham.
It was Fulham, that's it, it was Fulham.
But him
where
and
the two of them
were.
played, it was, I remember, I think I had Ahmad as my captain in FPL, that goal got rolled out for offside. But my FPL, I'm bottom of the league by about 30 points and of my team, my thing. But the loser has to go out on a night out with their rival team's shirt. So I had to have to go out.
Screwed.
He's somewhere here in London with a Liverpool kit on, or a Liverpool top on. I've got to make up 30 points in 3 weeks.
Someone needs to get you the Premier League winning title kit as well.
I am genuinely terrified because then all my mates are just like, by the way, we're going to hold this over you for the rest of your career if you
I would try to reach out to one of your friends for a picture or a video or something.
I literally said, we're banning phones. I said the whole night out we're banning phones. I can't be having it, but so yeah, that's just a side point that's very much on my mind.
You know what though? On the subject of 210s though, they are so free flowing anyway.
Yeah.
Who was it? Can't remember when it was Garnacho and Kobe, and I think it was Garnacho on the right and Kobe was on the left. And sometimes you found Garnacho basically overlapping Kobe at times like that. I feel like they are giving freedom.
It happened with Xerxes as well.
Yeah,
when Xerxes was playing the 10s, he would just like flitch between.
He was looking really good before his injury.
I know, man. I think the way Xerxes come back has been so sick to watch this season.
I'm happy for him.
I think he's got to be one of the top fan favourites at the moment now.
He's very likeable.
Yeah, he's a really likeable guy.
He's celebration.
He's funny. He's chilled out. He's just fun to watch with the ball at his feet.
Yeah.
Sticks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think with Xerxes, it was just the physical levels. Like, I think he just looked so much fitter. And Amran said he lost weight and stuff like that. Yeah. And you could just see it.
Well, Xerxes didn't have a pre-season because he wasn't called up to the Netherlands squad for the Euros, went on holiday, then came back and then was called up last minute after someone, I think it was like De Jong was out, so Xerxes came in. Xerxes then didn't play. I think he barely played across the whole of the Euros. Then he had like a 3-4 week holiday, and then he came off the bench first game against Fulham after like 3 days training. Yeah. And then started starting.
Yeah.
And then surprisingly wasn't properly up to it.
I mean, you know what's funny though? That first game he came on against Fulham, obviously the finish was a bit of a weird one because it looked a little bit like...
It was a quality finish.
Yeah, it was, but it was also a bit off the cuff and sort of like he just toe poke and it went in. But the pass, the way he dropped into midfield to pick the ball up, played us forward and then received the ball from Garnacho. It was really good. Yeah.
Harry Kane-esque.
Oof. Do you know he would have worked well with McTominay, Xerxes. Like if we'd have kept McTominay, we'd have stuck him up top with Xerxes the 10 and it could have actually worked quite well.
That sounds so ridiculous, man. Imagine
equally with Rashford.
Scott
Well.
McTominay up top in the Ruben Amorim
He'd probably start
system.
9 under Amorim with Hoyland's form. Like, he probably would
What,
start
McTominay?
games. Yeah, he might
Disrespect
get
to Harry
9.
Maguire.
I got a lot of time and love for McTominay. I do like him a lot. And I don't
I'm so
think we
happy
should have
for
sold
him, man.
I don't think we should have sold. I think it was a mistake selling him. But I feel like for the finances, we didn't have a choice.
I didn't like him until we started playing further up under 10 last
Yeah, I
year.
agree.
Yeah.
I didn't
yeah.
like
He
him
was never
in
a
the
six.
pivot. He was never, but that was never his fault.
And yeah, exactly. Him and Fred would set up for failure because even Fred was really in a box-to-box 8.
Yeah.
He was never a sitting 6.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Well.
but back to the just
athletic game.
the game this season, the athletic game is. So you said before we started, you're confident.
I am confident.
You're confident in the game.
I'm so confident.
Is this like? Do you feel like?
I think we're
Almost,
whooping them 3-0.
it's a weird feeling because.
Yeah,
you
but
never go into game.
Have you seen me wear my
especially
United?
you as well.
I don't think I've been on
Yeah,
this
true.
show.
You never wear United
I don't
stuff.
think I've been on this show wearing a kit once. This is the first time wearing it.
Confident.
I'm confident. This is Europa League final day.
And it's weird to feel so confident because I agree with you. I'm like, you know what? If we lose this, it'll be beyond ridiculous.
If we
Okay,
win
touch
this,
wood
do we
again.
go on to lift the trophy?
Yes.
Surely, like,
Favourites.
surely.
You know what's funny as well? Yeah, I
Does
think
Tottenham not bother you?
no.
Yes.
Yes,
No.
because Premier League clubs we're not good against, but no,
I
'cause
hate
they're
playing
allergic to
Premier League clubs in
trophies.
Europe.
You know what it is for me? Yeah, you know what it is? It's just there's stuff that is deeper than form, than physicality, than
Heritage.
tactics, and
Heritage.
it's
Tottenham and trophies.
It's football heritage. It's Jose
heritage.
Mourinho,
Yeah.
football
I knew he was
heritage.
gonna say that.
Spurs
I think
don't
if-
win.
If we get into the final,
So what does that
we
mean
are the
about
one
Champions
with
League?
all of the momentum, huh?
You said about the heritage, right?
Yeah.
So are we saying that PSG is not the favourites to lift the trophy over Inter, who's got the
Well,
heritage?
I think inside the dark arts and the know-how.
I think
I'm
Inter gonna
backing
win it.
Inter.
I could
You're
hear. I
backing
hear it.
Well, as soon as the semi-finals came up, before they were played, I was backing Inter.
See, I see the Inter side. There's also a part of me that just thinks this PSG side is so brilliant. That midfield trio is unbelievable. I know their front three as well, but watching their midfield three is. I think they'll get it
It's
done.
just the
but
physical
I
levels
would-
Inter
yeah.
might have on them.
If PSG win the Champions League, I will be very, very happy for Luis
shout out
Enrique,
Luis
sorry,
Enrique, yeah.
because I always really liked him when he was with Spain. He was class. I wanted him over Ten Hag when we got Ten. He was like my top choice before Ten Hag.
Yeah.
Well, in 2022, and I'd be very happy for him. Don't really care about PSG as a club.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
yeah,
Like you know how like you kind of like lean towards certain clubs outside in England and stuff. Like for example, like Spanish teams, I despise all of them.
Really?
I don't.
Genuinely, yeah.
I can't think of a single team. Like if you think about most countries, right? You think there's like a team in each country that
that you
you
kinda
kind of like. You know, some people might like Dortmund in Germany. Some people or like Leverkusen, for example, because of how well Xavi Alonso is. Like just Spain, don't like any of them.
I like Real
I
Madrid.
just don't. I hate facing them. I hate playing them. I hate watching them.
It's ironic, but I kind of like both Real Madrid and Barca.
Nah.
I'm liking watching Barca at the moment because I like Yamal.
I don't
and Pedri,
like
but-
Barca doing well because historically they're the ones that they've ruined us.
They
And
stopped,
Real
yeah.
Madrid,
Yeah.
Real Madrid as a club, I think, are a bunch of desperate crybabies.
Just take
Oh
all our
my
players.
God.
and
They
just-
are unbearable as a club.
They like made, you know, before the Arsenal game, like all that talk they were given. I was like, no,
Remontada.
you make, I was like, you make the Arsenal fan base look bearable.
Yeah.
That's
You
what-
know,
Yeah,
Real
I
Madrid
don't
are
like their fans. I don't like
Real
their fans,
Madrid are that one kid
They're entitled.
in like the
Like
year
the
10
Ballon
team
d'Or as
who
well.
was really good and would non-stop complain to the PE teacher. He wouldn't. Yeah, the one kid who dives during in the
I hear it,
playground.
I hear it.
That's what Real Madrid are.
Okay, fairs. But if it wasn't for Real Madrid, we would be very, very sad Man United fans because Liverpool would have 2 extra Champions League
True,
titles.
true.
So shout out Liverpool, shout out Real Madrid because they've also knocked out City a few times.
Yeah.
They've done us
We
a favour.
needed them.
Yeah, no, I
lot.
like they on those individual games. I've been backing Madrid, but when they were playing Arsenal, I was backing Arsenal. I just Madrid. They just because I knew Arsenal.
I had
Because I
Arsenal
knew
winning that.
Arsenal would never get past PSG.
Yeah,
Well, I say at least I was
To be fair-
I was
I was worried.
confident. I was confident they were
With
never going to
how
get past
unbearable
PSG.
Madrid were, like, I
Oh,
was
I
not that
can't
bothered.
stand them.
I
I
just-
say this, you know, I'm flying to Madrid tomorrow.
Clip this up.
I'm literally flying. I've got a flight at like 5:30 tomorrow to fly into
way.
that city.
Jokes.
But yeah, I'm going to Atletico game on Saturday.
yeah, you
Atletico
told me
versus
about this.
Sociedad.
Yeah.
But no, Real Madrid can't stand them.
Yeah.
Spanish teams, just no.
And we're going to lock one off today.
Good. Yes.
We're gonna lock one
Thank
off
you.
today.
I did too. I forgot that their top 3 goal scorers are out.
Yeah.
That's so funny, by the way. That's like us losing Bruno, Ahmad, and Garnacho just
it.
before semi-final.
Then we're screwed.
It's outrageous.
That's it.
You know as well, I saw a stat where if we score 4 more goals in this European campaign, it will be our highest scoring European campaign ever.
We might be our Premier League tally. You never know.
What do you mean? Oh, it's in
I
goals.
feel like we're only like 10
yeah.
off our Premier League tally.
Probably.
We'll just batter Spurs 7-0 in the final.
Yeah.
See, I'm worried about Spurs. Obviously, we've lost against them 3 times in the league already. Well,
Once in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, once in the
Madison
Carabao.
and Bergvall will be out, which is
Yeah, that's huge.
Yes, I heard about Madison, but it's the physicality of their players. So.
Is Kulusevski available? He should be, right?
Yeah, but he's
he'll
dropped
be
off. He was
available.
unreal.
Yeah.
You know when they beat us 3-0?
Yeah, he
He's
was.
not the same guy right now.
I did like him. Yeah, in flashes, he's really good.
Bentancur's the one that's actually been performing, I think, for them.
He's good. But you know what? There's just something there. There's just something
I-
there. It doesn't
understand
matter.
that.
I
do get that.
I think it was meant to be that we lose 3 times to them this season,
And
just
then
so the
beat
one
them.
that's most
Yeah, yeah.
important, we beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels right to me.
100%. I can.
Like-
I have that feeling, but I don't say it.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
saying.
I could get clipped
Yeah.
up.
You're saying.
The thing about before what I said last week before we went to this Bilbao game is what's worrying me is their storyline about the final being in their stadium and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. You know,
yeah.
them being a club that they're like they only recruit
Yeah, that's what worried
from their
me.
local area. The finals in their local area. I was like that. It's because I'm a bit of a superstitious person. It was their storyline that was worrying me more than their actual starting 11.
Yeah,
And with the
I was the
Spurs
same.
thing, that it's the same thing. Is that it's the storyline of Spurs having a horrible season, Arsenal going out, and then Spurs somehow winning a European trophy and always winning
Before
all that.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
That's what worries me.
Yeah.
A 90-minute game, if let's say triple meaning of the game, I would back us against this Spurs team easily because I think we are on the up. They are
they're
not.
on the- yeah.
They
And
really
is
are
on the way
We've
out.
got
Ange's
better
on the way
since we've
up.
played them.
We've
and
got so
Yeah.
in the
we
last
only knocked
month,
us out
6
the FA
weeks.
Cup because of a mistake from
We've been
Bayern.
so much better.
Yeah.
But it's just the storyline of Spurs shithousing their way to a trophy.
Can't see it. I'm sorry. She
No,
lost
you
the
got-
way to
you
a
got
trophy is
Kane.
us.
No,
FA
I
Cup.
know. I'm well aware. It's just that's what worries me. But it's because when I watch
No, I hear
football.
it.
It's when I watch football. I watch football for the storylines and the emotion.
Yeah,
of everything. I'm not there
yeah.
to go. Oh my god, look how good he is at fucking
Yeah.
left centre back.
Yeah,
I don't care. I'm looking at the storylines and
And then the
us
link
being
between
horrendous and
Kane
winning
as
it.
well, lifting his first trophy and Tottenham. I don't want that. I don't.
But I did like. It's one of those things. I will think about it when we get there. We
Yeah,
still
yeah,
have
yeah.
90 minutes tonight. As I said on here, it's 90 minutes from the final,
Yep.
but it's still 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And we conceded 4
with
goals
Man United,
in
that can be a long
70 against
time.
Leon.
But can I say how big this win is, though? This could be the
Huge.
difference between Bruno staying or not.
What? No, I don't think he's going anywhere.
No, but look, but that's.
Without European football, you just
I asked that question. Has he said? Look, Bruno could be sitting there thinking to himself, "I want to win trophies." He said that. If he doesn't get a trophy, he's thinking, "When is it coming?" Forget about what we think of what project we're working on. Hypothetically speaking, there's a percentage
3
out
years
there.
left, yeah.
No, he said, and we're going to respect his wishes. If Bruno goes and says, I want to move on, we're
Oh,
gonna
yeah, I
say,
think all United
we'll
fans will
respect
as
it.
well.
So there's nothing, I don't even look at his contract to think, oh, we're safe. Because Bruno holds the keys. He can say whatever he wants and get it. So I'm like, a part of me's thinking, we need to win it to keep Bruno. We need to win it to even have a shot at getting someone like a Gyökeres or
Helps
whatever.
Amarin's rebuild.
And help with
Oh,
the rebuild.
it's
just
it
too
helps
much.
Amram. Amram
It's
skips
more than a
he
trophy.
skips a season
It is
if we
like-
win the Europa League.
Yeah.
It has implications. I
Yeah.
think it affects like the next 3 seasons.
It's our future.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
But you know what do you say about is this the difference between Bruno going? The irony being that he is also the biggest influence on the game.
winning or losing.
Like
yeah.
kind of him saying,
Deciding his
like
own future.
us winning or not the Europa League is a big decider in saying if he's going to stay or go. But at the same time, he's also the biggest influence on who wins that trophy.
100%.
Because he's the biggest influence in this game coming up, and he is by far the best player on the pitch in
Best
the
player in the
final.
whole competition.
Huh?
Yeah.
Whole
Yeah,
competition.
but considering how much Europa League he's played, he's probably the best Europa League player of all time.
Yeah,
He's got all-time goal
Stats-wise,
contributions.
yeah,
He's got like 20. It's 22 goals or 24 goals and 25 assists in 56 games or something, which is
And
nuts.
also, this is deeper for Bruno Fernandes because he walked off
In tears
in
in
2021.
against Villarreal when
And also, hopefully, we'll finally have Harry
But
Maguire
Lindelof in
available.
that game was
After we didn't have Harry Maguire in the 2021 final, because I remember how
he was injured. We had Lindelof.
he was
Lindelof.
he was on the
Eric
bench but injured, he couldn't play, and then
Yeah.
hopefully Harry Maguire will be able to actually play in the Europa League. You know what? No, I've changed. The storylines are all us. I've
is
decided
all
I've
us.
changed
It
my
is all
mind.
us.
The storylines are
telling
all
you.
us.
It is
I was
all
so
us.
happy for Maguire, though. I mean, his little wing play.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shout out
yeah,
Maguire.
yeah.
Shout out
That
Maguire.
was gonna be Europa League game.
You know what as well? Yeah, he scored the header against Leon. Yeah, I don't know if he thought he might have been offside, but he ran off so like nonchalant. This is just. Harry Maguire. This is what I do. I score big European goals.
I think he's got one of the best knee slides in football. You know, Maguire does. He's up there with Henry.
It's elite.
Him, Henry, and I think who is it that's got? I think it's Martinelli's got an awesome knee slide as well. But he does.
Yeah,
Maguire's knee slide is sick.
Facts.
Bruno, I think is his knee slide's a bit meh, but Harry Maguire's knee slide is with full chest.
Bruno's ones are so reckless. They're so like you can trip over. He's got hands there. He's screaming. All
right, Maguire's. I'm gonna wrap this up now. I'm gonna ask. Final thing. So, actually, I'll ask two things. Who are the players you want to see playing? If you can let me know quickly, and then also let me know your score predictions.
Would love to see Ahmad come off maybe half time. Other than that, we know who the squad is, in my opinion. Like Bruno starts, Casemiro starts. I don't think Ugarte does. I think for the most part, the team picks itself, especially the back five picks itself as well.
And score prediction?
3-0 United, 6-0 over aggregate.
That'd be cold.
Ooh.
Alice?
I pretty much agree with the lineup. I'd like to see 45 minutes of maybe Ahmad and Kobe on the same side, a little bit combinations. I'm going to say 2-1 United though.
2-1 United.
I'd like to see Ahmad start. I think he needs the minutes. I'm going with Ugarte in the middle again. I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm going with Ugarte, Casemiro. The rest of the team picks itself. And I'm probably going 2-0 United. I'm
going to say, obviously, I've said who I want to see start. I want to see, Yoro, Mazwari, Ahmad. I want to see Ahmad as part of the front three, just because I like seeing Ahmad. I want to see Ahmad as close to the goal as I can because it's the most fun version of Ahmad, whereas even he's potentially more effective as a wing-back. But I'm going to say 3-1. I think we'll score first. It'll be one of those ones I think we'll go 2-0 up, we'll concede, and then we'll score.
Am I just being stupidly optimistic?
Yeah, which is weird for you, by the way.
It would have worked last week.
Like 6 weeks ago, you're going, you don't think Ahmad was last in the season.
Off. No, I'm genuinely optimistic. I was sad for a while because the three at the back thing really sent me. But we're on the up. We're on the up.
But regardless, thank you so much, you two, for coming on. Nick, Alice, Firmz, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. Let me know your score predictions down below if you're watching. If you're not watching live, go in the comments, let us know what you think, all of this, all of that. For those who are live and have watched, thank you so much as always, and we'll be here at 12:30 next Thursday. See you then.